gentlemen, welcome back to Podcast on Prince here at Podcastjuice. All right, so anyway, wanted to have a discussion on the art of the first single. And, I started thinking to myself, I was thinking of the old albums and stuff, and Prince always had some great first singles that would lead off his albums. And then sometimes there were some singles where I was like, I'm curious if that one's going to work. So it's just kind of a loose discussion that we're going to have here today. And let's see, where do I want to start with this? Actually, I wanted to start with the album Lovesexy. I'll start there. The first single for the Lovesexy album was Alphabet Street. And listening to that album, obviously classic album, whatever, I can see, and it would make perfect sense to at least in my mind, that would be the lead single, because it's a funky song. It's easy to get into. It has some elements of classic Prince, like the chicken guitar scratch and things of that nature. And there was, they edited the song, so there was the version with the rap, but then the single version was without the rap. So it was so it could be a shorter song. And to me, that song, if you like, in my opinion, if you like nothing else on the album, you're gonna love that song. I mean, that's a song anybody can get into. And I remember, like, back then, people knew Alphabet Street but didn't know anything else from that album. Like, it wasn't, as they say, as accessible. And this is my opinion. So I thought that Alphabet Street was a great lead off for that album. I'm curious what you guys think about that in terms of Lovesexy.
That was perfect for, I think that was, as you would say, is the most accessible song on the album. And it made sense. It definitely was funky. It definitely was something you can groove and dance to. And compared to the rest of the album, which was very spiritual based, it wasn't heavy. So yeah, it definitely works. Plus, he gave us a new aesthetic.
I disagree
with the video.
Oh, okay.
I disagree slightly. The Lovesexy album was, if we go back in the time machine, on CD especially, it was released as one continuous track. And while Alphabet Street wasn't the first song on there, was it? No, it was I Know. Mm-hmm. That made it hard to be able to pick singles from that because you couldn't access it on the CD. Now, the second single, to me, Glam Slam, was a better lead single, but now we're just splitting hairs, and I just didn't like the fact that the album was in one track, so it was hard to get to. But Alphabet Street, they had, like you said, they had the extended version with the rap, and the video was a whole new thing with just him and the car and the alphabet. It was interesting. But I would have gone with Glam Slam.
Interesting. I didn't get the whole one track thing didn't matter to me at that time because I was still buying records heavily at that point, vinyl. So it wasn't I didn't even know what track meant. Like, that wasn't even my lexicon. I don't even think I had a CD player at that particular time. It was so new.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I was still heavy with records and getting heavy into cassette tapes. Cassettes was the thing in '88. Like, I think cassettes was a king almost at that point. So I never would have. So yeah, I had no idea that everything was all one track. If coming from that, you always had to put the record, the needle where you wanted it, or rewind the tape to where you wanted to be at. But that didn't play to me. But to say this Glam Slam, the Glam Slam was the second single, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And I don't think that was. To me, that song is not as accessible as Alphabet Street. That's just my opinion. To me, that's more Princey stuff. Like, it's not like, I just don't think you have to be into Prince to appreciate that song. And I remember that song being played on the radio. Actually, I remember, as a matter of fact, I was I was working at McDonald's. There was this chick there that I was trying to talk to. And I was talking to her, I suppose. I can't remember her name, but I took her in Well, I was in my car and we were driving. And we would always drive by the lake and driving around. I remember the song came on the radio, and of course I knew the song as I was playing the album. But this was in the time when Prince was not necessarily like the go-to shit anymore. But I was kind of surprised that she kind of knew the song a little bit. And I didn't know what the song meant at the time. So I was game, goofy. So I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. She was like, "Oh, you know what this is, right?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Now looking back at it, she probably was trying to give me a little hints. So like, you can make your move, Playboy. But I was so like stupid. But anyway, yeah, Glam Slam. So then it was Glam Slam, and then I Wish You Heaven, which I was surprised that they put that out, but I loved it that they put that out. Wow, great. I didn't expect it would be like some number one smash or something like that, but we got that 12-inch out of that, which was fantastic. I Wish You Heaven 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I still bump that. Take this beat, I don't mind. That's fire. All right, well, so that was one of my picks. And Pooh, what was like a first single that was impressive to you?
Well, we're going to take it all the way back to 7 and 9 with the Moonshine. It's an ODB reference if y'all don't get it. And I think he gave us the best first lead single of that generation, I Want to Be Your Lover. It's iconic. Mm-hmm. It's timeless. And anytime it comes on, you have to dance to it. And it's not only is it's perfect for that time, it's kind of disco-y, but it's definitely rooted in R&B. But just overall now, it's definitely something that gets played at the cookout. So this is perfect. You got this falsetto, you got the beat. If you got the longer version, you can let it ride out too. I got to give him props. That was a good one. And for me, I am kind of disappointed in his single releases and a couple of in his later years what he chose as the first single. But this was great. I want to know if it was his or the record label's decision to go with this one.
Yeah, I mean, that song's a no-brainer, man. Like, again, it's kind of one of those things, like, if you bought nothing else, you would remember that song. And I think it's a great song to make you want to go buy the album, too. Like, oh, okay, shoot, this is what's on there? Banging. But, yeah, I agree. That's a classic song. No doubt. All right. Big Sex, you got anything to add on that, or you want to go keep moving?
I'll go to the next one. Thieves in the Temple from Graffiti Bridge. And I only picked this because when I first heard it, I actually saw the long form video on BET. And the long form video, damn. I ran out and bought the CD, and of course that version was not on it. So I had to, wait and track down the maxi single. But that's what really set this album up, and I know I'm going to get mail on this, and it really was kind of misleading because the rest of the album, let's just say it hits and misses. Hits and misses. Because the third single from that album was the song New Power Generation. No.
I could say something, but I'm not going to. See me next week. Well, it's interesting that you say that, because to me, when that Thieves in the Temple dropped, I thought that was, at the time, I'm talking about at the time, it's not that I didn't like it, but I was like, this is not a lead single to me. I thought that this was like, because I was so used to, up until this point, for the most part, the lead singles on Prince albums was bangers. They were the classics, they were like, oh. And I was like, wow. And even before this, we had Bat Dance, which even then I could argue this possible. Maybe I would have picked like Party Man or something, or Vicky's Waiting. But then when I think about it, no, Bat Dance was probably the perfect record to lead that project off. But I felt like, because to me now I was like, he's saying this is the best thing on this album. That's how I looked at it at the time. Like, Thieves in the Temple is the best record off of this album that's going to...
See, I never looked at the single being the best song.
See, I did, because I was saying, because usually the first singles were always like, yeah, like, we'll make some of the other ones.
I agree.
And I just kind of, I was like, wow, this is going to be interesting. This sounds like, it sounded different, which most of his stuff does, but it was different in a way. Like, I was like, this doesn't, I don't hear that classic Prince thing in it at the time. Right. I'm just saying initially, I remember talking to Tobias when we were back then. I was like, God, man, this is kind of soft or something. Now, when I did hear the 12-inch version, yeah, that's something different. But initially, I was kind of thrown off by that personally. I was like,
Okay. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot, sirs. Which should have been the first single?
That's a hard one. That is a hard one, because listening to that album, now I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to go too deep. I'm going to go exactly opposite of what Big Sexy just said. I think New Power Generation would have been a better first single. And that's all I was saying. I'm gonna explain it. It'll make sense later, but looking at the songs that I can think of on that record now, I think that could have been a better. At least remind me a little bit more of a Prince that I kind of understood at the time, or my expectations of what a Prince would sound like a little bit. But that's a tough choice.
Well, for me, looking at this album, you want the best song. I'm not saying this is the best song, but I think it was the most accessible one.
Here we go. I didn't know what you're gonna say.
Weak and Funk.
Oh no, okay, interesting.
I think that would have tore it down. I know people love the original version, but I think at that time with that's just a funky ass song. Plus you got George Clinton, which people, he has the cachet of Atomic Dog and having to revitalize career. I think that would have been a great first single.
You know what? I could see that. That probably would have been dope. And give it a proper video. I could have been, yeah.
Because I know people swear by Joint Repetition and The Question of You. I think those are great hardcore Prince songs, but I don't know if it would have crossed over to the mainstream. I don't know. I'm not saying it wouldn't have. I'm just saying I don't know. As a first single, I don't know.
I can see, I kind of see what you're saying, actually. Yeah, I'm curious. In the comments, they're probably lighting your ass up, but that's all right. It's our opinion. All right. Let's see. Another one for me. Again, I'm going to what was a great first single, "Kiss."
Yeah.
From Parade.
Yeah.
It's almost like that song. To me, that song is the odd song out on that album. I actually don't think it has. To me, sonically, it doesn't even necessarily match that album, in my opinion. Is the most accessible song on that album to me. I think it was I don't think it was created late into the album, but to me that song is like, it just stands out, like it just screams like I'm the shit. And nothing else on the album sounds like it, in my opinion.
No, not at all. It's a funky track.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So I thought that was a great lead-in and number one song. Now, is it my favorite song off that album? No. But in terms of, it would be a first single that everybody could get into, and it has some Prince that think he has the guitar in it. At that time, that was a big identifier of him. Yeah, that works. If it was up to me, and it probably would have failed, I would have had to start off with Another Lover Holding Your Head. But that's my own personal taste.
The 12-inch version of Lover Holding Your Head with the horn section.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe it's because the backlash of the movie, but that song should have been top 10, in my opinion. It's that
Another
good.
Lover?
Yes.
Yeah.
That should have been top 10. And here's the other thing, because I know Mountains and Girls and Boys, again, are hardcore faves. I mean, I like Mountains, Girls and Boys. I don't rate as high as some of the other Prince Army. But I think if Another Lover Holding Your Head was the second single, I think it probably would have done better.
It's possible. I think the wave of that movie was so hard back then, it just overshadowed the album in a bad way. Because once the movie came out, it was like people kind of backed off of it. But if that movie hadn't came out and it was just that album, I think it would have probably performed better. And I always feel like, to me, like, I like the video that they put out, from the Detroit concert. But if they would have just did like a regular video and used the album version, or even incorporated the 12-inch version, and it was a video, like how they did Kiss, the video, I think it would have would have been a whole different thing, man, if they'd have pushed it like that. Because that Kiss video was synonymous with MTV. That's a dope video. Like, even my daughter in 2019, anytime she sees that, she has to watch it. Like, it's just such a striking video. He has such a great look. And that record, Round the World in a Day, is beast, man. Like, that is.
You mean Parade?
No, I'm talking about Around the. Oh, I'm right. Ooh, see, I'm old. Sorry, I'm old. Yes, the Parade. What I was trying to say, Another Lover.
Another Love. Okay.
Another Lover song. Ooh, see, that's just when you get the old man on the mic.
Put your foot down on the rock.
Yeah.
I get to say this. To the South.
Hilarious.
Well, I'm ready for all the smoke. I'm going to go there and say, if we're going to, what I found was a disappointing first single, Sign of the Times album. And it did okay. It charted well, but considering the bangers he had on that album, I think he chose wrong with Sign of the Times as the first single.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. And the only reason, I'm sure part of the reason why they went with Sign of the Times was because of the whole kerfuffle around this album. Is it going to be Dream Factory? Is it going to be Crystal Ball? Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 2? What? Figure it out. And he's like, look, fuck it. Here's Sign of the Times. And they just led with that.
I wouldn't have thought You Got the Look would have went number 1. So clearly that probably should have been the first single, I guess. But I mean, he's sitting on Housequake. He's sitting on Hot Thing. He's sitting on Adore.
Slow Love.
And he went with Sign of the Times. That probably could have been a good second or third single. But first, man, he should have came out with the bangers.
I think too, and I know we're talking about singles, but at that point in time, videos played so heavy into the success of things. And I think it also hurt that he didn't do a video for Sign of the Times, like a proper video. That's to me, like when I think of You Got the Look, I think it was part of the way its success is because they had that video for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was big, but if they would have had a video, just think, if they would have had a video for Sign of the Times, it would have been a whole different thing too. But at the same point, I agree. If it was up to me, first single would have been Housequake with the video. Game over. That song would have blew. And they could have just edited that word out, the cuss word, and that shit would have bang. I was like, when Sign of the Times came out, I remember walking in the Tower Records. I didn't even know it was out. I just seen that 12 and I was like, what is this? That says Prince on it, don't it? I was like, my man was like, that's your boy. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is going on? I was like, oh, that's not that nigga on the cover. I gotta get it. I know they're gonna clown me, but let me go ahead and get this. I got home. Oh, that's cool. But when you flip that bad boy over and that la la la, I was like, oh, this is that heat. I was like, God damn. I thought that was supposed to be the first single. I was like, what's going on? Why do you have this slow song? This is the heat right here. I always thought that was supposed to be the first single. That was my first single. Oh, hell, he talking about. But, now when the album came out, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, man. What was and then I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man.
It's
what?
Nice, but it shouldn't have been a single.
There was gonna be a like a extended remix version of that song, and it leaks like shortly after his passing, and I didn't get a chance to save it, and I can't find it anymore. But it's out there, like, and it's tight, like it was official.
I thought the second single was If I Was Your Girlfriend.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Well, I'm on Prince Vault. They say it was Sign of the Times, If I Was Your Girlfriend, You Got the Look, Then I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man.
Okay.
Yeah. And, I'll catch you for this. I have to be in the mood for If I Was Your Girlfriend.
Oh, so do I. Everybody does.
Not me. That works every time.
Now, that's a song that's not accessible.
To me it is it's just heavy Sly Stone, not a pop song. So I can see it's not super accessible. But again, without a video, it's just gonna be relegated to radio, black radio, which I don't have a problem with. But I thought that he should have had a video for that, because that's one of his illest songs to me. Like, that song would, I mean, it is still a classic,
right?
Whether it went to number one or not, it's the shit.
Great writing, yes.
Yeah, that song was crazy.
I'll just say this to the Heavenly Father: missed opportunity with Hot Thing. I think that would have been number one, at least on the R&B dance. Hot Thing was a banger.
Possible. I like how you said Adore. Boy, if they'd have had, I mean, that song was bumping. They was bumping that on the radio anyway. But if they'd have had a video on that bad boy and he actually was pushing that, that would have been very interesting.
If he was singing that to Jodie Watley or Janet, shut it down. No, I'm just saying, whatever woman he would have got in there to sing to.
Andre's wife.
That would be interesting.
But yeah, that. But so we're dealing with first singles. Big Sexy, go ahead.
The next one, perfect lead single, even though it came out months, if not years, in advance of the album, is The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. That was perfect. A perfect song, perfect video, great single, but Warner Brothers fucked it up. That simple.
Did Warner mess up?
How was it messed up?
They didn't want to release it. Well, I'm talking about the album.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we all know Prince came in and said, look, here's Come, do that today. Here's Gold Experience, do it tomorrow. Warner's is like, no. Fuck you mean? No. And so let me do it on my own. They're like, he's going to do it on his own. Yeah, look what happened. It blew up. That song, had it been released properly, would have carried that album for a year and a half. But Warner's fucked it up.
Well, it wouldn't have carried it for a year and a half the way Prince get down.
That's true. He leaves shit in the dust. Once he gets bored, he's out.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them personally. I mean, I could see both sides, but I could see how they probably be like, yo, man, slow down. Like, at that point in time, rushing them out would have been a lot as opposed to today, but that was a brilliant single, though. I do agree.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stake my claim. The greatest single disc release ever. Get Off. Perfect first single. And then all of those remixes. I have that. I somehow lost it. I spent and paid $25 for that because even though I didn't even need it, but I'm like, no, I need that single. And the song was perfect at the time. After, Lovesexy, which was more spiritual based, even though he had his little sexual innuendos in there. Batman, which was a concept art album, playing on the themes of Batman. This one was like, Graffiti Bridge, which was kind of a mess, all hodgepodge of all kind of songs he already had. This was like new content, and I'm just as bad as y'all thought I was. Here's my new band, and look how funky we are. That was dope.
I agree. Yeah, that song, that was the shit. That came out. I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a dope first single. Yeah. And I can't knock that one at all. Let's see. Another one that was interesting. Unless you have more to say on that. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. Other than it took me till I was in my mid-20s to figure out a mirror with a tongue inside was talking about.
Wow.
I'll play stupid. I don't know. Still don't know what the fuck.
Okay. You had to take that one offline.
I'll say this. There'll be some shit on Prince records. I'll be singing along to some. I don't know what the hell he be talking. He be on some other stuff, man. It'd be like years later, somebody says, "You know what that song's about, right?" I'm like, "Nah, I just thought the shit would sound dope." Yeah, kind of crazy. I'm like, dude was a wild dude, man. No doubt. All right, let's see. What else do we got here? This one was interesting because of when it was released. So Around the World in a Day. When that album came out, there was no single that preceded the album. They just dropped the album. So the album came out April 22nd of 85. But then the first single, Raspberry Beret, came out May 15th at 85. But, this is coming right off the heels of Purple Rain and Super Success. So he could kind of play that, just drop it in the stores. I don't need no promotion time. He was the hottest thing going. People scooped it up.
Yep.
But Raspberry Beret was, even when it was released later, to me, that's a super accessible song off of that album, aside from Pop Life, which I would have probably picked Pop Life first. But
read my mind.
But again, even with Pop Life, I guess it's at that time, you had to have a video to go with the shit, man. Otherwise, it's not going to, perform it properly. Because I thought that song was just a no-brainer. Like, Pop Life? Seriously? But there was no video. But, Raspberry Beret. I was reading Raspberry Beret. So that song was from like 1982. And then, of course, we got America came out. And that video was bananas. That 12 inches, bananas. 20 some odd minutes. Like, damn, I was like, damn, he is not playing. Who's doing this? Like, who?
See, as nuts as a 12-inch was, I like the live video.
Yeah, the video was dope. That's what I'm saying. Both versions was super unique and killing.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of his great videos. I know that was when the interview came out. Yeah, it was like right after the interview. I was like, oh, shit.
Now, question.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that one of the few times you have Eddie and Alan on the same stage?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Now, question, because I read somewhere that the actual first single was Paisley Park that they did the video, but they have it listed as Raspberry Beret.
I think in the UK that was a single. Okay. There is a video. He's not in it. It's just like kids playing or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it is, and I think most of our conversation we're dealing with the US charts. But yeah, Raspberry Beret was one. Let's see. Did you guys have another one or something or another song? There's another obvious one.
I know that's why I'm avoiding it, of course.
Oh, okay.
But as much as I love Call My Name, I got to give him props. Musicology was a great first single. Yeah. I think it touches on everything that he was trying to do, bring a little bit of old school, show how funky he was. The video was good too. Love that part.
Mhm.
So I got to give him props. He was on his marketing chops with that one.
I agree again. Yeah, that was brilliant. Man. I felt like that should have even. I just thought that was such a great first song in the way to start the album. The video was so great. It was almost like that could have just been its own project. I was like, I wish it was more about back in the days, because then the album just kind of went to your regular scheduled broadcast. I thought the whole thing was going to be like a throwback or you know what I mean, like more of that time, but it was just because it was like, yeah, musicology, like, okay, we're going to talk about the music, old school music and the history of it, but it was really just that song that sort of dealt with that for the most part.
Well, for me, I look some of the songs that he did. I like the fact that it was more live band produced as opposed to some of the drum machining that he got to be known for in the late 80s. So I'm glad. I think that's probably, when you say the old school, it was probably the way he put the album together. And like some of those songs did feel like a callback. I mean, Call My Name and If I Was a Man in Your Life, those. So it's kind of like a feeling. I get what you're saying, but I think he kind of did.
Yeah. Now you say that, but I feel like, to me, Diamonds and Pearls and did that too. Like he had, to me, he's always known for having the band stuff and the mix. But I get what you're saying too. At that particular time, it must have been, maybe it was more of an innovative thing or something. But actually, Musicology came after Rainbow Children, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's what, that album to me is, if you're gonna go that route, that's the album where there was some live playing and getting it popping, But I'm not going to compare the two albums. I'm talking about singles. Stay focused. Seeing is at this point, after Musicology, for me, the whole first single thing, I didn't pay attention no more, for the most part, to the first singles. Because what was the next album after this?
3121.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And it was,
yeah, I remember now.
Te Amo Corazon.
Oh, that's right.
Well, they have, yeah. Which to me is like, if it wasn't going to be Black Sweat, how was it not 3121 as a single?
Yeah. He threw me off with that one. At the time, I was like, this is all right, bro. I mean, it's a good song, but is this going to rally the troops?
Nope. and the thing about it is like he got it right with Black Sweat. I thought that was a really good song at the time. And then he had the first memeable video, in my opinion. That whole video was a meme. And I thought it was dope.
Black Sweat's a funny song too.
But he had 3121 right there. Like, come on, bruh. That could have been a live performance song. Dude, like, you got a banger right there.
Man. You think 3121's a banger?
Yes, I love that song. That groove. Come on, man. The drum. Oh, man. When I first heard that, I was like, I'm like, my dude, what are you doing? This is Sign of the Times all over again.
I see. Wow. I see the voice and all that can get you to get you to think into that. But,
No, I mean, as far as Sign of the Times, where it's like you got all these bangers and you come with Sign of the Times first.
I got you.
You got 3121. You come with Te Amo Corazon. Man.
Wow.
Hilarious. Oh, we didn't mention another one. First, I thought it was a cool song, but at this point, you had heard so many other songs in the bootleg, but was Let It Go for Come. I thought the song was cool, but I believe at this point, there was so many of those Gold and Come songs floating around that I was like, nigga, if I don't hear Acknowledge Me or Race or something, I don't want to hear nothing. But it was, I think it still was a pretty cool song.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Sexy MF. Go ahead, bro. The video, because everybody said that was a jam session that he made a song out of. his throwaways better than Yo Face Faves singles. Come on, man. That was a killer. Unfortunately, he couldn't get a really good radio play on that. But Sexy EMF was a beast. I don't know if he chose that as the first single because I've read that he wanted My Name Is Prince because, you know, that rap element to it. But Sexy EMF was the best one.
You, get in the car.
My Name Is Prince. Oh.
Yeah.
Turning Point
Yeah.
USA.
Let's go way back. Let's Work should have been the lead single off of Controversy.
Huh?
That's right.
Really?
I'm saying it.
Wow.
I'm saying it. Let's Work constantly. If you look at the concert footage, look at the reaction in the club, that one always sets it off.
I like Controversy. I just think
I'm not saying I dislike Controversy, but Let's Work should have been the lead single.
Okay.
Well, I'll take it back even further to 78. I'm Yours. I know people love Soft and Wet was a hit, but I'm Yours should have been the first single.
No.
That song, and this is the new millennial term, slaps. It slaps hard. It's like when I first heard that, I was like, what the? I was like, what the hell is this? That guitar intro, that bass popping. I was like, oh man, he left this on the album and put out those other two. No disrespect, Soft and Wet. That's a good one. That's a good one. But for me, I'm Yours should have been the first single. That would have just set it off for me. And I know I'm probably gonna catch heat, but whatever. That is the only song that I would ever provide the clearance for Beyonce to remake. I think that would be a perfect song for her. Yeah. I think it's a good song for her. That'd be the only Prince song I would ever be cool with her remaking. I think it'll be perfect for her.
Interesting. The only song I want to hear her sing with Prince is Nasty Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. If you're not scared, take it out. Okay.
Let them get in formation on that
one. Me Too movement's done, I guess.
You know, I bet if she did that, it would be just
oh
a head
no, I'm
buster.
sorry. You know the song I really want them to sing, her to sing. I know they're not gonna do it. Sugar Walls. The song is cold to me.
Yeah.
Boy, that would be if she just came back out like, you know, I feel I'm a mother now, but I still can be sexy. This is for your man. Come in the night inside my sugar wall. Oh man.
Watch Cardi B team.
Oh, please don't say that.
I like watch Cardi B team hear this. Like, yeah, I got the kid for you.
No.
I've died. Michael Dean, host of a Prince-related podcast, heart attack on the show, talking about Cardi B.
No.
But yeah, back to my original point. I'm yours.
No.
That would be wild. Now I can see it, though. That's a sad part.
I can't.
I could see it. Or Nikki. One of them going to do it. Or that'd be the perfect. That'd be the perfect setup for Megan Thee Stallion. There you go.
Oh no! No!
I'm just putting that all out there, huh? They'd be like, "What song is he talking about?" Oh no, that would be it. This is it.
No.
The estate. They'll be posting it. Like they be on it like they was on Beck. Megan Thee Stallion records at Paisley Park.
Oh, Mike, if that happens, I'm coming to see you, man.
My sugar wall.
Bouncing. Hey. I can see it now.
This is dangerous.
Just off the rails.
All right. Okay. I just want. Here's the album that I wanted to ask about. Emancipation.
Wow.
So the first single was such a doozy out of left field to me personally. Bet you by golly, wow. It was a cover, first of all. And it was a slow song. I was thrown back when I was like, this is the first single? I was like, wow, okay. But listening to the album now, I would have never picked that for the first single. If it was up to me, I actually probably would have done, I might have done Jam of the Year and it's still kind of a mellower song, but Somebody's Somebody.
I can see Somebody's Somebody.
If it was like those live performances he's done, yes. Mm-hmm. The album version, not so much. Like the one he did on Rosie O'Donnell or the one that's on the Holy River. Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't know why he went with Bet You By Golly Wow. That I just was not feeling it. And as far as, in my opinion, his replacement, In This Bed I Scream could have been a good one. I love that one. That's that and Somebody are the songs that I play off that album.
Okay. How about you, Big Sexy?
Well, off Emancipation, the problem was, there's so much. You can look at the obvious contenders, like, Get Your Groove On, but just saying that sounds dated. There's In This Bed I Scream. There is New World, which is had a little bump to it.
You say New World?
Yeah. New World was a cut. Okay, apparently not. Fuck you guys.
I'm cool, but go ahead.
There's just too much in this album. Now, I can see why the labels were like, look, man, 3 is too much. I can see this.
Well, even just putting himself out, like, now, I don't know if it would work, but I think, to me, I like this. Sex in the Summer. It would just get everybody's attention.
Damn it, I just looked at that one too.
Yeah,
yep.
What did he just sex? And then he had the baby thing. If you're gonna play that, go that route, like that would have been it. Like, wow, he's got his child, and had the video. That'd have been kind of tight, man.
No, was it Sex in the Summer, or was it One Kiss at a Time, where he said, "Come and get your come on"? That's the one they should have done.
One kiss at a time, yeah.
That's the one.
To Mike's point, he's going to come out with the banger as opposed to the ballad first.
Yeah.
But that if it was that or Bet You By Golly Wow, I know which one I'm saying too.
Bet You By Golly Wow. Now we were like, wow. Okay, all right. But he's got so much. There's so much material here. There's a lot of these songs would have worked. It's so funny. Like, if you're gonna go the cover route for the first song, I would actually probably say the bang for your buck for across all the markets, One of Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that one too, but yeah, I didn't know. Because it's so close to who I forgot who did that one. Joan Osborne. But yeah, if you were to me, that's the best cover. That's the best cover song of this album.
I don't agree with that, but I think it would be the most impactful because I know the Dominant Society would have been all on it. I'm just saying, the mainstream audience they'd have known that song, and then his version kills it. And then,
they don't know that because it was still out, man.
He would have jacked them.
Too new.
He'd have been like, "Well, shit, I'm gonna show you how to really do this song," and she would have probably got there, but forgot about her, forgot her shit. He would have pulled a Sinead just a little earlier. That's all. See, I wonder if they would. I'm on my conspiracy brother, but would they would have pumped his shit up?
So since it's about to get released in 1999, remasters, whatnot, 1999 worked. It definitely worked. It was a moment in time. It was perfect. However, had he gone with DMSR, I think he would have shut it down.
You know,
Nah.
I don't know. I mean, I think in certain places he would have.
In the clubs, definitely. But as a lead single on radio, nah.
Well, see, that's the thing. When I think of that Prince back then, he was still, even the original release of 1999 was sort of relegated to black radio at that time. It wasn't serviced person. You know what I mean? Like, that's who he was pushing those albums to. It wasn't until, was it the second single, Little Red Corvette? And then it's sort of the switch was like, hey, let's push this a different way. And this shit blows, then MTV gets into it. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that being said, it probably should have been Little Red Corvette, the first single. Considering how it took off and whatnot. And I think, and I would say this probably is the most accessible song on the album.
Little Red Corvette?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
And with Little Red Corvette?
And somebody may mad at this, or Delirious to some again. Well, in terms of, you said the most accessible song?
Yeah.
It depends on what you mean by that, right? Like,
it doesn't really do it for me, but to me, Delirious, I don't really think that's if you played that, a lot of people wouldn't think that's a Prince song.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't think that at the time either, but it was a reason why it was played, right? It's not the reason was it Prince or not, is because it was accessible that they played. That's what I'm saying. I guess if you were just trying to get beyond this black radio charts, then you would put that out, right? Because it's going to hit all over. It's going to hit the bigger stations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
But I agree. I don't think I wouldn't have picked that as a first single personally. But now, see, if it was up to me, I would have been I'd have did like you. I'd have did either DMSR or I probably went even stupider routes. Lady Cab Driver.
That wouldn't be stupid. But.
Well, I mean, I know it's only going to appeal to a certain type of demographic, but that would have been my pick. Like, just like if it was the time, like, yeah, a no-brainer is 7779311. Is that going to go pop? Probably not, but that shit is banging. Bang, 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 boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, side note, that Miss Sade, she has her videos starting with that song, that lick.
She did, and I'm not mad.
Yeah. I'm surprised she ain't got shut down for it either.
Hey.
But
when you find, you get away with that. You find as she is, she don't got to get no C&Ds.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I ain't catching the heat.
Hilarious. All right. Any other ones you want to talk about?
Well, The Elephant in the Room.
Oh,
Purple Rain's first single.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doves Cry.
I mean, it worked. It absolutely worked. But yeah, I think Let's Go Crazy probably should have been the one that go first.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was just a hype stadium anthem opening song. I mean, hey, I'm wrong. When Doves Cry went number one. So
I think When Doves Cry was perfect. Like, again, that's almost one of those songs you can tell it was just made specifically for that. You know, in a sense, it's like it's not the odd man of the album, but it is different than a lot of the stuff on there. I think it was the last song made for the album.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that was. I mean, I'm trying to think what else you could do. Yeah, I mean, see now, it wasn't on the album per se, but you could just as easily. And it would have been very interesting and stupid, but what if the first single was Erotic City? And it wasn't on the album. There's just been a banger that came out as a single that just destroyed it. Then, I got another album coming through.
Well, it didn't necessarily need to be released as a single since it was the B-side. You know, what if, and this has happened before, what if DJs just went into business for themselves and just flipped it over and said, we're going to play the B-side? Then you got to do something about it. If you're a label, you got to, do another pressing and include it or something.
Yeah. What else was on? I'm sorry, what else is on the album? There's a lot of shit on the album. It's almost. I think of Purple Rain. listen, when I think about it now, aside from Let's Go Crazy, I would say that those songs by themselves aren't singles.
Agreed.
Maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I disagree because
go ahead.
I think The Beautiful One should have been a single. I really do. That one should have been released as a single. The ballad? Come on, man. After Do Me Baby. And I think with Do Me Baby, and then putting that out, beautiful.
I can see that.
I was thinking what the ballad was on 1999, International Lover. I'm like, that wasn't released, but Beautiful Ones, yeah, that should, especially I think after the movie came out and that scene, that should have been on as a single on the radio because people would keep remembering that.
Yeah.
They probably could have. They just could have just took the scene and made a video.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That was such a lightning in a bottle, like, because every performance in the movie was fire.
Very true.
Which is something that you don't see. You know, back then I didn't never think about that, but now it's never where every performance was the shit. Like, I don't think we've really ever seen anything like that. Where there was that many performances on one thing, and each one is its own, like, the beginning of the movie. That's what crazy. Just killing it. Beautiful One. Computer Blue, Beautiful One. Killing it. Darling Nikki. Killed it. And then, the end part of the movie, those three songs, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think the only reason why I got released is because it's in the film, but I'm just not understanding why he went with I Would Die For You. I just wasn't feeling it as a single.
It is kind of a weird song, but it's a great song. But I can kind of see this. It's such a, to me, it's like you have to have the Bay on the Star part of it. But
yes, because every time they got to that part, I'm like, wait, where's the rest? Where's the rest of it at?
Yeah, it's like it wasn't made to be a single. It was made to go right into the next song because it's, you know what I mean? But it again, because that movie was so hard, you didn't care. It's like, oh yeah. Yeah, that was a dope 12-inch too.
Yep. Missed opportunities, man. I would love to see, that's the book I'd want to read is them picking these singles, because I would love to know what went behind all of this. Because, like I'm saying, like, Take Me With You, I get it. You probably capitalize on Apollonia's hotness and whatnot, even though the video was a concert performance that didn't have her in it at all. But I'm just thinking, like, how are y'all giving us I Would Die For You, Take Me With You, and leaving the Beautiful Ones on the floor? Like, dude. You know? Right. And then you look at the Dirty Mind. I'm like, you performed Party Up on SNL, but that wasn't released as a single. And in my opinion, it would have been a better single over Uptown, which is probably gonna cause some people to have a heart attack listening, but whatever. Not a big fan of Uptown.
Thing is, though, nobody saw the Party Up performance till after the show because nobody was watching that season of SNL.
Yeah, that's true. And with Batman, by this point, they were watching SNL. After he did Electric Chair, my brother, why didn't you put that?
And introduced Candy. What's up, girl? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I have the only song when I think of Batman, I question is, wasn't Arms of Orion a single?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, huh?
Well, at least he got it right with Scandalous. That's all I can say.
Arms of Orion, that's where I want to be. Sea of tranquility. I was like, my man Clown. I was like, he's a fool for these songs. I was like, he's feeling himself. He's feeling himself. I had me lying about it. Didn't he have wasn't the old girl on that? White girl on that?
Yep. She needs to on that. Yep.
I know what he was trying to do. I'm about to give me another hit. Let me get that other market. I said, no, you ain't.
Not today.
He's a fool. Wow.
Like you said, this is strategery.
Yeah,
Right here.
about to get this other market. Y'all, they gonna hate this. I got they darling on here. Yeah. Anyway,
They done moved on.
I was like, not this one. Not like this. Not like this. All right. I think that's all I got, man. Unless you guys got some other ones.
One last one, which I think should have blown up bigger. From 1993, the hits, the B-side, Pink Cashmere. That was a good first single. I love that song.
Yeah, that was a dope song for sure. Now you make me remember. I do have one other one. I think it was a good first single, but I don't think it. I don't know how well it was received. But I always loved The Greatest Romance Ever Sold.
Hell yeah!
Like I thought that song was tight.
I hated the video though.
I thought the video was cool, man. Like,
no, just boring.
That song, definitely love it.
Yeah, I thought that was one. I was like, man, this is the shit. Yeah, I listened to it the other day too. I was like, damn, this is dope to me, but I don't know.
So I'm sorry, but where do you think he went wrong with that album? Because I thought he had everything needed to succeed with it.
He was trying too hard, in my opinion, to follow the path of the Santana with Supernatural, because he had all these guest people on it. It's like, no, that's not going to work with you, man. You're a different cat.
I personally don't have any problem with the album per se. I thought the songs were good. I think when I was reading, it was the one with Gwen Stefani they wanted to put out, but her label wouldn't release
So
her
far,
to,
so please.
release her to do it. And I think that would have been a big song if they were able to have released that and did a video.
What? They can do that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that was what it was.
The label, look, if you're signed to label X and you want to go do a duet with somebody else on label Y, label X has to sign off on that.
Wow.
That's why let's wind the clock back. That's why when Eddie Van Halen played on Beat It, nobody knew. You know, Quincy didn't call up his management or David Lee Roth. He called Eddie directly. Eddie, what are you doing? Nothing. Want to come play? Sure. That was it. Nobody knew Eddie was on that until it came out. And the label was like, what the fuck, man? Why are we getting some of this? Oh, well.
Mm. Yeah,
because normally you should say so-and-so appears courtesy of such and such records.
Because I thought Baby Knows was a good song.
I did too, yeah.
I don't think I Love You, but I Don't Trust You. I like it, but I don't know if it would have charted. You know, yeah. And I like the remix version of Hot With You with the Nasty Girl sample. Yeah,
I haven't played this album in years.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot on there.
It has some dope songs. Silly Game, I used to like that one.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, whatever you do. Pretty Man. It was dope. It was cuts on here, man. You know, he had some good songs.
Nah, not that one.
You don't like Pretty Man?
Nah.
Oh, there are Beautiful Strangers on this. On the other one.
On the other one, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of them things where Prince would be quick to, if he felt a certain kind of way about them albums, he done with them. Yeah, I ain't doing shit no more. I'm moving on. To me, I sometimes feel like that was some parts of this. It's like, all right, I got my bag.
What was the one, was it called? Was it Old Friends for Sale? Is that the one that had, no, the other one. Chaos and Disorder.
Yeah. Dinner with the Lord.
That's exactly what he did with that.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you know what? Here you go. See you.
Yeah. I like it there with That's a great song. That should have been a single.
You know, other than The Same December and Zandalee, everything else is, yeah.
He didn't release any singles for Crystal Ball?
No.
He had bangers there too.
He did.
No, I know it was integrated into Continental, but tell me how you want to be done. That's my jam.
Oh, yeah. All right. We're just grasping this point. So we're going to wrap this thing up. Wrap it up. Jumping to all different bands. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. What are some of your first single picks? What would be? I guess they do. I guess they do call them singles, right? Even like this.
You mean now?
Well, they release songs. Yeah, they put songs.
Hell yeah, we're in a single society, man. Because it's not about the album anymore. It's about single and streaming, man. How many streams do you get?
Right.
Fuck that.
It's kind of, to me, going back in the days when it was just about the song.
Back in the 60s, yeah.
Same kind of shit. I was going to say the new album or the re-release 1999, they've put out 3 songs already. Don't Let Them Fool Ya, International Lover, and then they did one of the live tracks, I believe, from the concert. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed yourself today, and we will see you next time on Podcastjuice. Working like a job.